Hello, my name is Kelly Bluen. I am a certified Zentangle teacher. Welcome to episode 4 of my Coastal Calm series. Each day we are creating a mono tangle. So that means we're just picking one ocean themed pattern to put on a little paper tile. And then at the end of the week on Friday, we will do a compilation piece that put some of our tangles together. So it's been so much fun already. All right, I have my little sketchbook, a micron pen, a pencil. My blending tool today is a Q-tip. And then I've got this little book that I created from the kit, and it just has the tangles that we have already done. So day 1, day 2, and day 3. And I love this little collection that I'll be able to throw into like a little sketch bag if I'm going somewhere and need some inspiration. All right, I'm going to move those aside. I'm going to move all of this aside and go into my sketchbook. All right, today is episode 4. And it is another tangle by Joan Stark. We did one of hers yesterday. And this one is called See, S-E-E, but it's a play on the other spelling of see, which is S-E-A. All right, and this is by Joan Stark. All right, I love this tangle because it's one that's easily repeatable. It's just a very basic shape, but in the end looks like the waves of an ocean. So I really like how this one works out. All right, this one is a series of little spirals. So let's just do a row of them right here. I'm gonna start and I'm gonna scoop up, curve around, and curl in. So if I were to turn this sideways, it's almost an S shape. My next one, I'm going to start underneath this one, and I'm going to scoop up over here. Scoop up and then curl. Start at the bottom, scoop up and then curl. We are not going straight up and then curling. We're doing a scoop and a curl. We're getting that like S curve in there. Scoop, curl. Okay. Now I'm going to use my pencil to help me make a little grid. So I'm just going to draw a line, and then I'm going to go about the width of the pencil and make another line and another line. I'm just going to make a few on here. And I'm going to start at the bottom. For me, it's easier for this particular tangle to start at the bottom and work my way up, but maybe you find it to be the opposite. That's okay. That's what our practice book is for. All right, I'm going to scoop and curl, and when I curl, I'm not going to touch that top line. I'm going to leave a little bit of space. Scoop and curl. But it does help me line up the bottom, and it helps me keep these lined up here as long as I'm staying a little bit below the line. Scoop, curl, scoop, curl, scoop, curl. Once you get that line filled up, you're going to do the next line. But now I'm going to try to make mine land kind of in between each of these. If it helps you, you could take your pencil and you could just give a little line there where you want each of those spirals to land. So if I want mine to land here, I'm going to start my scoop above this one and do a curl. Try not to touch that top line up here. Scoop, curl, scoop, curl. So those lines are helping me with the center of my spiral. If I want to do one more line, I can put those lines. Now we want those to line up in the middle of this space or directly above this bottom row. So I can put some little dashes in here to mark where I want those spirals to land. Scoop, curl, don't touch the top line. And the last part of this is taking this first row. I'm going to leave the first row as is. The second row, I'm going to go underneath this little curl. And I'm going to scoop down and land over here. So I'm just making this shape over and over. Start at this curl, scoop down, 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 down. Up here, find the bottom of the curl, go down, down, down. And look at those beautiful waves. Did you get enough practice? Are we ready to put this on our tile? I think so. All right, bring your tile over. If you're using watercolor paper like I am, the more flat side is the back side. The one with a little bit of texture is the top because it would absorb water better. And I did them on watercolor paper just because I like the thickness and I like the texture. And then also at the end, you can go back and add some watercolor to them if you'd like. Okay, slide in a bit. I'm gonna start with my pencil and I'm gonna make that frame. I'm gonna put some dots pretty close to the corners, connect them, making a little frame. And now I want to divide this with my pencil so that I know where to line up my waves. It really doesn't matter. And if I was just spending some time tangling on my own, I mean, you could make them go up to the side. You could make them any direction you want. They don't have to be lined up perfectly to look amazing. But for this instruction, I feel like this would be helpful. So I'm just going to, let's see, maybe I'll do my tile in half, and then I'll do these sections in thirds. So I have a half line, and then I do 2 more lines. 1, 2. That might be a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of this, but that's okay. I think it'll look amazing. All right, I'm gonna start down here in the bottom left-hand corner, and I'm gonna scoop and make my first spiral. Don't make them too tiny. You want them to take up space, and don't let them touch this top line. So I'm gonna scoop up, curl, up, curl, and maybe one more. And then this last one, I'm just gonna start it, but you're not gonna see it because it's gonna go off to the side. And these really should tuck under. I kind of went from the side on those because I was going quickly. I don't know why. All right, I'm going to skip this spot here for a moment and I'm going to go over here. So my scoop starts above this one, but my curl is going to be in between the two. And if you want to take your pencil and put in those little dashes, you can. Scoop, swirl, don't touch that top line. Start underneath. Over here, I would have one come out. I just kind of have to imagine where it's gonna come and how it's gonna land. Is it perfect? No. Is that okay? Yes. I'm not going to continue to make dashes, but if you want to, you can. put in that first curl right above that open space. My next one starts underneath and goes over there. Don't be afraid to jump over. Give it some space. Jump over. I might be able to see part of a curl over here. Maybe not. It looks kind of messy. That's all right. Jump, curl. Keep going. Swoop. Just trying to put these above the open space. I love the repeated movement of these ones. And by leaving that little space in between, you're able to then do that little connecting piece. So before I do the connecting piece, I'm going to trace around the frame. And I'm going to start connecting those. So I'm going to find a curl. Remember, I'm just doing that slight curve under the curl and over. Look at that first and second layer of waves. Over here on the side, I can just kind of imagine where it would come out. And if you want to finish your tile up here, you could do the swoop downs if you want. I think I'm just going to leave mine open-ended like that. And you can always go back into your swirls, and if you want to swirl them in a little bit more just to give it a little bit more character, you can. It's not necessary. Looks cute like that. And then we're going to initial it and do some shading. Put my initials down here. If you have an eraser, you can erase those grid lines that we made. I want to show you another technique. It's called weighting, like adding weight to something. And a lot of times when we do the tangle print top, we will weight one side of the spiral. Let me show you what that looks like. So I'm going to weight this right-hand side. I'm just going to add some ink and thicken it. But then I can do the right-hand side of that as well. Let me do it over here to this one. And right there. That one and right there. And look at how that changes how that looks. So if you want to add a little bit of ink to the sides, it really adds a lot. Takes a little bit more time. And of course, it's not necessary. But I do like that technique. I was just going to show you on one, but now I feel like I need to do all of them. Also, instead, you could have weighted like these little scoops here. You still could. I feel like my hand is kind of shaky today. I've got shaky little waves going on. Sometimes it's a good way to kind of clean up your lines a little bit as well. Kind of shape them a little bit better if you want. Okay, look how that changed it. I like that. All right, I'm going to jump into some shading. So this has a lot of parts and pieces. If you just want to shade the inside edge of the frame, that would be great. I'm going to shade the whole thing. So to do that, I'm going to actually start at the top and work my way down so my hand doesn't brush against the shading. And I'm going to go right over the top of each wave and stop where it touches the next one. And then around the next wave and up and around, up and around. Already you can see it getting some dimension. I noticed I didn't add weighting over here. Okay. All right, I've got my Q-tip. I did remove kind of that like dirty top layer from that we used yesterday and just made it really thin. There's still some cotton on there, but it's really thin. And now I'm just going to, did I do it too thin? Feels a little rough to me. Okay, I'm gonna go back to this side. just feel like using Q-tips is fun, but it's really like broad. But look at that little bit of shadow up there. Come down here. Just soften these. I'm trying not to bring the graphite down into the wave. I'm trying to keep it up above it. And even just this little bit of pushing it into the paper and up and around has such an effect. I think I already did that one. I'm going to add one more little bit, and that's going to be on the top of each of these curves. I don't usually put this much shading on a monotangle, but I'm really loving the dimension of these waves, and these lines feel flat to me, like they need their own little shadow. Let's see how that works. I don't want to spread it out too much because we still want light areas and dark areas. Look at the dimension. And then lastly, I'm going to go on the inside edge of the whole thing. I've been doing that on all of them so far. I just like how it separates the inside from the nice bright white frame. And same thing, just going to soften it, pushing it into the paper, spreading it out a little bit so it's not so stark. And there we go. That is C by Joan Stark. Are you feeling the vibe? Are you feeling the ocean vibe? Look at these. I'm going to take these off of my clip for a moment. Look at those. I'm feeling it. I hope you're enjoying it. We got a nice little collection of 4 so far, and we'll see you tomorrow for episode 5. Thanks. Bye-bye.